back at it again, and we've got one here with Next News Network. Shout out to Next News Network. But yeah, this is another interesting story where I'm just like, all you can do is just sit there and shake your head, you know? Such snakes. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button if you're new, and let's dive in.
The establishment GOP's decision to reject Donald Trump ahead of the 2024 election will undoubtedly prove to be a mistake, and he's firing back at them today. Not only does Trump have his loyal supporters to back him up and take revenge, but their snub is a declaration of war against him, something that won't go unpunished should he regain control in the White House. The battle for 2024 has just begun, and it's sure to be an exciting one with Trump on the campaign trail once again, this time with a chip on his shoulder. What consequences the establishment GOP will experience from their move remains a mystery, though they'd do well not to underestimate the power of President Trump and what he could do if given another chance.
Facts.
I'm Gary Franchi, and I want you to stay on top of the latest news. Hit subscribe, then tell your friends you saw it at the Next News Network. Club for Growth, a major conservative funding organization, has landed itself in a state of a political battle with its decision to exclude former President Donald Trump from this year's donor retreat. The retreat, which is a key event in this cycle of the Republican presidential nomination process, invites possible potential contenders to present themselves before GOP donors and promote their anti-tax and other conservative economic policies. This salvo against Trump and his vast base of supporters ahead of the primary season suggests that this move is almost a declaration of war and signals that this upcoming race could pit different groups within the Republican Party against each other. It'll be
And the group that doesn't want Trump will lose 10 times out of 10 every single day of the week and twice on Sunday. I don't get it. I really don't understand. I mean, from the whole push to just usher in McCarthy, right? You guys remember that? That wasn't very long ago, where it was just McCarthy, and these 20 Freedom Caucus members, they're a threat to democracy. Well, Republicans weren't necessarily saying that, except there was one guy, I forgot his name, the guy with the patch. I'm not recalling his name right off the top of my head at the moment, but I'm sure you guys will say it in the comment section. When, like, the establishment guys and gals were all pushing for McCarthy, when everybody across social media, all Republicans across all social media, was saying, we don't want McCarthy. We don't want McCarthy. We don't want McCarthy. I mean, it was clear. I even took a poll. I even put a poll up on Twitter and asked people, like, hey, who do you want? Do you want McCarthy? Do you want Jim Jordan? I think was one of the options, and something else. I forgot exactly who I put. But McCarthy was the lowest on the totem pole. He had 4%. 4. Everybody was saying no to McCarthy, except for the establishment. And I feel like that's the same with this whole battle against Trump being the leader in the doghouse. The establishment is saying no. Republican voters are saying yes. Like, they're supposed to do what we want them to do, not what they want to do. So, hey, listen, it's time that we get the establishment out. It's time that we get the establishment out. And honestly, I might even go as far as sacrificing, you know, even if it means, hey, we're going to have to usher in a Democrat for a little while, you know, because this is just getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous. I hate to even say that, but I feel like it's gotten that far. Mitch McCarthy, what good has he done? What good has he done? That's a genuine question. Genuine question. Can anybody tell me anything good Mitch McConnell, did I say McCarthy? Mitch McConnell, if I got my words mixed up, I'm sorry. If anybody can tell me anything Mitch McConnell has done good in the past 2 years. Anybody got anything? and yet he's still in the position that he's in. Some of these other leaders are still in the positions that they're in, even though they've lost elections and basically lost midterms. Technically, it was a W, but still, you get what I'm saying? Like, they just pushed them back in. Oh, I forgot the lady's name. But she said that she's going to retire after this next term is over with. Oh, what a coinky dink. Right after Trump is said to be done, she's leaving. Interesting how that works, but I don't know. I'm just absolutely disgusted by this whole thing, and really, I'm ready to make the sacrifice just to get these establishment Republicans out of there, because I think in the long run, it would be what was best. You sacrifice the now for the betterment of the future. Get the establishment guys and gals out, and you let them know we are serious. We are so serious. We will not support any of these establishment Republicans. Just because you're a Republican and have an R next to your name doesn't mean we support you. All right? And then I think is when Republicans take over for the next 100 years. I think if we could manage to pull that off, then it's over with. But anyway, I'm sorry that was long-winded.
Very interesting to see how things shake out in the coming months. Now, the Club for Growth is a major force in conservative politics. It's preparing to hold an exclusive donor retreat next month and has invited 6 potential Republican presidential candidates. This influential anti-tax organization spent close to $150 million in the last 2 election cycles, and their invite list includes prominent figures such as former United Nations Ambassador Nikki Haley, Vice President Mike Pence, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, Senator Tim Scott, Governor Ron DeSantis, and Governor Glenn Youngkin.
Now, realistically, who out of that group do you think is going to beat Trump? Maybe DeSantis, and that's a big maybe. Like, really? You'd rather invite all of them instead of Uncle Trump? You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. You're literally smoking crack. You are smoking crack. You gotta be. You gotta be. These folks have lost their minds.
Donald Trump was notably excluded from the list of invites. Now, the Club for Growth has always been hostile to Donald Trump, going back to the 2016 election. So this shouldn't come as a surprise. In March of 2016, the head of the organization appeared on Fox Business and declared that Trump would lose to Hillary. Watch this.
Who do you think would be better for the economy, Hillary or Trump? And if you think Trump would be better than Hillary, then forget what you don't like about him and go for him.
Well, and David, thank you. That's not the real choice, because if Trump's the nominee, Hillary's going to win. So our choice now is between Trump and 2 candidates who are much better for the economy.
But David, you don't know that if it's Trump against Hillary, that Hillary would win. You didn't know, for example, that he would make it this far, I'm sure, right?
What the polls consistently show is that Hillary doesn't beat Marco Rubio, she doesn't beat Ted Cruz, but she does beat Donald Trump.
Well, that's because Donald Trump has been in a primary.
Republican nominee preference. And yet he's still pushing Rubio and Cruz. Now, obviously, this was in 2016. This isn't now, but still. Polls show 43% to 20 to 16. And I like Ted Cruz. I'm not too familiar with Marco Rubio. I have to do some more digging on Marco Rubio before I actually give a firm opinion on him. You guys can let me know how you feel about him in the comment section, though. But, like, come on. Even back in 2016. Now, obviously, this interview didn't age very well. Oh, Trump's going to lose to Hillary. Trump's going to lose. He's not really the right choice. Oh, was he not?
Season, she hasn't had any primary to worry about. When he focuses his guns on her, don't you think those numbers will change?
I think what will happen is that Hillary will unleash all of the stories about Donald Trump's bankruptcies, the little guy getting hurt, taking widows' houses when he used eminent domain to go after him, how she'll probably be able to say, Donald, you supported me before because you liked government-run health care. So what's changed?
And he's faced the fire for the past 3 or 4 months.
Is he a Democrat or what? Because, I mean, that sounded like a Democrat ad right there.
Now from a whole series of candidates, and he's done pretty well. His numbers have continued to go up. Meanwhile, nobody on the stump has been firing at her the way he will. So I think things can change. But
and change they did, because we all finally remember Trump trounced Hillary in 2016.
Sure did.
Club for Growth, they dumped millions of dollars into anti-Trump ads back in 2016, hoping to topple his GOP presidential nomination. Let's take a look back at one of those ads.
Trump also going after the super PAC, Club for Growth Action PAC, because of this political ad.
There's nothing conservative about proposing the largest tax hike in history. There's nothing conservative about supporting socialized single-payer health care. There's nothing conservative about abusing eminent domain for personal gain. There's nothing conservative about 4 bankruptcies. There's nothing conservative about giving money to the Clintons. There's nothing conservative about Donald Trump.
Joining me now is the president of Club for Growth, David McIntosh, and Gina Loudon, an occasional Trump supporter, is with me as well. I got to start with you, David. I thought you guys had backed away from your attacks on Donald Trump, particularly, of course, he came out and reminded everyone you guys sort of went hat in hand asking for money. He rejected you, and this is sort of a vendetta that you guys have against him.
Yeah, that's his line. It was really, I think, Trump trying to buy our silence. And we feel, Charles, we just have to tell the voters in South Carolina the truth about him, that he's not a conservative. He's got a long record of supporting liberal causes. And he's just like the politicians they're frustrated with. He'll say anything in order to get the vote.
Not only are they excluding him from their retreat, but they've released a poll showing Florida Governor Ron DeSantis leading former President Trump by 9 points in a hypothetical head-to-head contest. Perhaps they should remember what the poll said about Hillary back in 2016. Well, President Trump fired back at the Club for Growth on Truth Social, writing, "The Club for No Growth, an assemblage of political misfits, globalists, and losers, fought me incessantly and rather viciously during my presidential run in 2016. They said I couldn't win. I did, and won even bigger in 2020 with millions of more votes than 16, but the election was, well, something we can't talk about."
Facts.
They asked to get together on endorsements of candidates. We did. We had many wins and no losses. Relationship broke up over my endorsement of certain great people in Alabama and Ohio. I won them all. 2024 is set to be a critical, potentially explosive election year. After the establishment GOP snubbed Trump's 2024 campaign just as it began, they lit a fire that won't easily subside. President Trump has returned with a vengeance, responding to their contempt with a message of resistance and power. He will not let this betrayal go unchallenged, and with supporters who are just as passionate as he is about reviving his 2024 campaign, the establishment GOP should be prepared for a fierce battle in 2024. Trump is ready to take on the challenge, and he's undoubtedly coming back stronger than ever.
That is a fact. I just find myself sitting back and thinking, like, these guys have to be getting paid. These establishment guys and gals, these rhinos out here that we just saw, they have to be getting paid. They absolutely have to be getting paid. There's no way that they aren't getting paid in order to say no to Uncle Trump. Because as far as the polls go, it shows. And I've talked to a lot of you guys, and a lot of you guys agree. Your preference is Uncle Trump. Now, a lot of you have said that you wouldn't mind DeSantis, but your preference is Uncle Trump. And I've seen that across social media. So it's just crazy to me that there's Republicans. Well, supposedly Republicans. I call them rhinos. Well, we all call them rhinos. That are so against this man. So against him. Instead of saying, all right, well, most of the public says they want Trump. Let's do the best, even if you don't like the guy personally. Because we all know Trump can rub people the wrong way, some softies. All right, I get it. Whatever. I'll even give them some grace there. But even if you don't like him, if most of the Republican voters are saying, we want Uncle Trump, why not just say, you know what? Let's take everything that we have and put it behind this man. Because if we did, plus with the money that he can generate and he already has, we can get this win. I think if all Republicans just stood up and said, we're backing Trump, all donors, we're backing Trump, just everybody on the right, you know, the same thing what the left does, Trump would win, and it wouldn't be close. But because he's having to fight not only Republicans, but also having to go against Democrats, it's going to be a much closer 2024 election. It's going to be much closer. But what do y'all think? Maybe I'm completely wrong. I don't know. Let me know how y'all feel about it in the comment section below. Like, share, comment. Hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.